Hey everyone, welcome back to Mortgage and Real Estate News for Dallas, Fort Worth, and beyond. I'm Laura Mitchell, and I'm here with Christine Amoah. Today, we're diving into what's honestly a pretty wild time for the DFW housing market. Christine, I don't know about you, but I feel like every week I'm getting calls from clients who are just stuck. They're not sure if they should buy, sell, or just wait it out.
Yeah, Laura, it's like the whole market's hit the pause button. I mean, prices are technically falling. Dallas has seen one of the fastest drops in median home prices in the country, right? I think it was down about 4.6% over the last year, which is only behind places like Oakland and Jacksonville. But even with that, it's not like buyers are rushing in. Interest rates are still hovering around 7%, and that's just scaring a lot of folks off.
Exactly. And it's not just buyers who are hesitant. Sellers are kind of digging in their heels too. I had a client just last week. She was thinking about listing her home, but after seeing how long homes are sitting on the market, she decided to wait and see. She's got a great mortgage rate, so there's no real pressure to move. And honestly, she's not alone. A lot of people are just holding tight.
Yeah, and the numbers back that up. Homes are sitting on the market for about 86 days now, which is 11 days longer than last year, and inventories up to 4.7 months worth, which is the highest we've seen since, I think, 2012. That's a big deal. Usually 5 or 6 months is considered a balanced market, so we're getting close to that territory.
And it's not just the number of homes, it's the type. The higher end homes are really taking longer to sell, while anything under $700,000 is still moving a bit faster. But overall, sales are down, and people are just kind of resigned to the fact that rates aren't dropping anytime soon. I mean, I keep hearing from clients, maybe I'll just settle for something smaller.
Yeah, and I think that's the story for a lot of folks. There's this sense of uncertainty, like, do you jump in now or do you wait for rates to drop? But with the way things are going, it's not clear when that'll happen. So people are just pausing. It's a tough spot for everyone.
So, with all this hesitation, we're seeing some interesting shifts in strategy, right? I mean, Christine, have you noticed more clients talking about renting out their homes instead of selling?
Oh, absolutely. It's wild. Yeah, just a few years ago, nobody would have thought about keeping their home as a rental, but now, with all the equity people have and those low mortgage rates locked in, it's actually making sense for a lot of folks. I had a client in Frisco, for example. She listed her home the same, didn't get much buyer interest, and then just pivoted to renting it out. And honestly, she's not the only one.
Yeah, I've seen that too. And it's not just individual sellers, there's a lot more double listing happening, where a property is up for sale and for rent at the same time. It's like, let's see what happens first. And the rental market in the suburbs is booming. DFW actually claimed 4 of the 5 fastest growing suburban rental markets in the country between 2018 and 2023. That's huge.
It really is. But what's interesting is that single family rents are actually dropping a bit. Dallas rents fell year over year for the second month in a row. It's not a huge drop, but it's there. And a lot of that is because there's just so much new apartment supply coming online. Renters have more options, so landlords are having to get a little more competitive.
Right, and I think that's catching some would-be landlords off guard. They thought they'd just rent it out and be done, but now they're having to lower rents in some cases. Still, it's a softer market than it was a few years ago, but it's giving sellers another option besides just sitting and waiting for a buyer.
Yeah, and I think it's changing the whole mindset. Sellers aren't as desperate to drop their price. They'd rather rent and wait for the market to turn. It's a big shift from what we saw, say, 3 or 4 years ago. And honestly, I don't see that changing unless interest rates come down in a big way.
And then you've got the builders who are kind of in their own world right now. They've got all these finished vacant homes, over 11,000 at the end of March, which is up from the end of last year. So they're offering all kinds of incentives and price breaks just to move inventory. Christine, have you seen some of these deals?
Oh, for sure. Some of the incentives are pretty generous, rate buy downs, closing cost help, you name it. But the thing is, even with those deals, builders are having to accept slimmer profit margins, and some firms have even started laying off employees, which is never a good sign. but they're still building, especially spec homes built without a buyer lined up. It's like you have to keep the pipeline moving, even if it means taking a hit in some neighborhoods.
Yeah, and it's not all doom and gloom. Homes are still selling, just not as fast or as profitably as before. The big difference from 2008, though, is that if you're willing to discount, you can usually find a price that works. Back then, it was more like total stagnation. Now it's about finding that market clearing price, even if it means making less on some homes.
Exactly. And even with the slowdown, 2025 is still on track to be one of the top years for new home starts since 1990. So builders are definitely feeling the squeeze, but they're not stopping. It's just a different kind of challenge, more about managing inventory and margins than total collapse.
So, whether you're a buyer, seller, or builder, it's a tricky market to navigate right now. But as always, we'll keep watching the trends and sharing what we learn. Christine, thanks for breaking it all down with me today.
Thanks, Laura, and thanks to everyone for tuning in. We'll be back soon with more updates and maybe a few more stories from the trenches. Take care, Laura.
You too, Christine, and thanks to all our listeners. See you next time on Mortgage and Real Estate News for Dallas, Fort Worth, and beyond. Bye, everyone.